On Kramer versus Kramer, I had the good fortune to get the job, right? There were 17 guys ahead of me. They didn't get the job. I had just done one 2-hour movie of the week prior to walking in that room. I got an interview, and they interviewed me, and Bob Benton hired me, right? He said, I asked him once many weeks later, you know, why was it? What did I do that the first 17 guys didn't do? He said, you answered the question right. And I said, what was the question? He said, I asked you, how do you feel about film? You know, in terms of what's your philosophy on film? Not how to make them, but just how do you feel about it, okay? The process, okay? And I said, what did I answer? And he said, you said that you felt that, and he's paraphrasing me and I'm paraphrasing his paraphrase here, because it's a long time ago, it was 1978. He said that I had said that I felt that we had all come too far, worked too hard, been at it too long for it not to be a little fun. That was my philosophy of working, and that got the job, okay? So I'm now on the set. I'm the first AD. It's my second movie. We don't know this yet, but it's going to win an Academy Award for Best Picture, right? And I'm nervous, right? It's a lot of weight. And I drew Dustin. That's a lot of work, right? And the training I had was from one of the first ADs that I took my training from and admired. Had a tendency to say a lot. Okay, so he would say, "Cut." Okay, camera move. Right, we're over here. We're going to see this. Okay, so everything that's not, get behind me. That was his style, and that's the style I learned. Well, it turned out that pissed a lot of people off. Okay, particularly the word camera move. Who'd have thought this? The grip resented that, the key grip, because it was implying to him that he wasn't aware that there's a camera move. People, go figure, right? So now how do they communicate to me, because I was not easily communicable, right? Because I'm so into my head and all the things I got to think about and whatever, and nervous and all that. So how do they communicate that they're unhappy? Okay, I happen to have, I can stand for a lot of hours, but at some point I got to sit down, right? And ADs can never sit down, right? First ADs, because then they're below the action physically, so they can't sit in a director's chair, right? So I had a stool, 30 inches, and I would lean against, a little bit higher than that, okay? So that was something that I just simply had the set dressing department get me for the whole movie, right? It would travel on the prop truck, right? And then in the set, it would be on the set. And I think one of the PAs, that was his job, to get it there, right? So I sit back on the stool one day, and it rocks. What? I go over and I look, and it rocks. It shouldn't be rocking. I turn it upside down. It's not a big awkward stool like this, it's a wooden stool. And I notice, if you look at it, that one of the legs is slightly smaller, shorter than the other three, right? So I go, what? You know? So I give it to the carpenter, right, to make the other three the same level, right? And that works fine, right? The next day I sit on it, it's rocking again. They cut another ½ inch off, okay? I give it to the carpenter, who is a member of Local 52, and he says, maybe you want to talk to Sacchio. I'll do whatever you want, Tom, but maybe you want to talk to Sacchio. Sacchio was he was the prop master, and he was designated as the person to do the communicating, which was, you're pissing people off. Say a lot less, right? So I'm pissed off now, I'm offended, right? So I go, and I pout. So I say absolutely nothing the whole day. Interesting. We got all the shots. So less is more. It was a lesson for me. Say a lot less. And it was funny. That's New York humor. If I had asked him a third time, it still would have happened. You know, and so eventually, I guess it would have been a footstool before hopefully I got it. That's New York humor. I love it. I love it. And he told me, he's the one who explained to me, don't say camera move. Kenny Goss, it pisses him off. He's the key grip. Okay. You know, but I wasn't okay. I was, okay. Roll. That's all I would say all day. And we got all the work done. So we learn, we learn. So the good news was to get that gig and to have that, as a career benchmark. The bad news was to go through all the pain of starting too soon at that level. That should have been your 6th or 7th movie, not your 2nd. Your 6th and 7th feature, not your 1st feature. Because features are different, right? They move slower, but they're much more specific, much more particular. They require more patience. You can be more gruff on a TV movie or a low-budget guerrilla movie. You can't do that as much. So there are prices to pay. However, you make more money on a big feature because you get to work for overscale.